Hello, my name is Leopoldo Armesto, and in this presentation we're going to talk about Internet of Things. This is an introductory presentation about this technology. So this is the outline of the presentation. I'm going to talk about Internet of Things, the present and the future of it, and also about networks, different kind of ranges of networks, WAN, LAN, and PAN networks. And we're going to explain some of the, let's say, widely used technologies among different kind of networks, such as cellular or LoRaWAN, or also Ethernet or Wi-Fi. And I'm going to explain some details behind these or the protocols we use behind these networks, and also particularly within what it's known as PAN network. I'm going to focus on Bluetooth, and I'm going to explain slightly difference between Bluetooth Classic and Bluetooth Low Energy. So the Internet of Things is a network of physical objects, or we call it things, that are using embedded electronics to exchange that data. It's known also as machine-to-machine communication, and it's been applied to many, let's say, markets and areas such as health, automation, transportation systems, home appliances, energy, smart cities, wearables, etc. And basically every device must collect data, log this data, and communicate it to other devices in order to analyze and visualize this data remotely. And also eventually we can actuate, or we can control and send commands to a device in order to generate a specific action. So those devices can be found in divided in the market in different areas. Particularly, we can find many applications in smart cities, also in industrial applications, also health, smart homes, and wearables. And as you can see also in this plot on the right, the number of connected devices is growing exponentially. Indeed, the amount of connected things exceeded even our world populations years ago. So in order to organize all this information and sensors, we need a network. And these networks are basically organized based on the range. We call it WAN, a wide area network, a network in which we try to communicate devices for long distances. And then we have a local area network, or LAN, in which we try to communicate devices among, let's say, a short or medium distance devices. And then we have a personal area network, or PAN, in which we try to communicate between, there's a communication between devices, but a really short range. And within WAN networks, we can distinguish between cellular or satellite communications, which are basically for long range distance and high amount of quantity of data that we want to transmit, like 3G, 4G, 5G. And they are called, every network are distributed in LAN areas, they are called cells, okay? But also there are other technologies that are, let's say, widely used in IoT applications like LoRaWAN or Sigfox, that are aimed for low power consumption applications, in which, of course, the transmission baud rate is much more slower, and the ranges are much smaller than the satellite, but they, as an advantage, they consume much less power. Also, for in this case, for the local area network, we use Ethernet and Wi-Fi communications. Basically, we use what is known a router, and that in this case, it's an interface between the WAN and the LAN networks that basically makes that all devices that are within the LAN network are seen from the WAN network as one single device in this case. And we can distinguish between Ethernet and Wi-Fi. The Ethernet is a wide infrastructure that might be costly, but can, let's say, reach high-speed communications. While Wi-Fi communication is a wireless communication, And in this case, when you connect to devices through Wi-Fi, you can even do it in different kind of modes. They're called the station mode, in which the smart device connects to other access point, typically the router, but also any device could be in access point mode, so the device itself acts as a router so allows other devices to connect to it. But also there's a connection as an ad hoc mode, in which two devices connect without the need of an access point. So in these Ethernet and Wi-Fi networks, we use different kind of protocols, and particularly the IP protocol or Internet protocol. It's used to assign a specific address to each of the devices, so they can be individually identified. And we can distinguish between IP version 4 and IP version 6. So they use different kind of amount of bytes. In the LAN networks, we use IP 4 in many cases. And on top of that, we can find transport, in this case, a transport layer, which is called, we typically use the UDP or TCP. The difference is between that the TCP, it's connection oriented, so that means that when we send something, we need to confirmation that has been sent. If not, please, we need to resend the package. While in UDP connection, it's we just simply don't expect an acknowledgement of the reception, so we just simply send things or messages, and if the receiver receives the message, then it can use it. Also, in a higher level, we have different kind of protocols in order to communicate between machines. A classic protocol, it's the HTTP protocol that it's used by web servers in order to publish, let's say, web pages, or to upload files, or to stream videos. And basically, the idea is that a client sends a request and waits for a response, and then, of course, the server responds back to the client. And in the end, the client is the one that closes the connection. And within the HTTP protocol, we typically use different kind of methods depending on the kind of information we want to ask to the server. They are known as get, put, or post, delete methods. All these kind of methods are part of the HTTP protocol that specify the kind of data that we want to provide to the server and get back into response. Here you have an example in which we have a get request, in which the get request has a header that's implemented by the client, and then the server responds back to the client also with an HTTP message indicating that it's going to reply with the body in this case, and the body itself could be, let's say, a web page. And many web servers are indeed connected to a database, so they can store and manage a huge amount of data. So that's why clients ask servers about specific data to the server. Also, another protocol that it's implemented in Ethernet or Wi-Fi application is MQTT, and this is actually it's becoming some kind of a standard within IoT messaging, because it's a lightweight application protocol, so it does not require such amount of data to be transmitted between the client and servers. And it runs on a TCP/IP protocol, and typically there's a broker which basically handles and receives all messages and routes them to the appropriate clients within the network, and uses an architecture which is known as publisher and subscriber. So there's a publisher that it's able to publish some kind of data on a topic, and there's a subscriber which is demanding this kind of information. And then within what is we mentioned before, the PAN or the personal area network, we can find a classic technology which is called Bluetooth. And there are two Bluetooth technologies, the classic Bluetooth and the Bluetooth low energy technology. The advantage of the classic Bluetooth technology is that it can transfer data at a higher rates, but the advantage is that it consumes much more energy, and another advantage is that the technology is quite mature. And the Bluetooth low energy, it's basically to transmit small sizes of data, but using in this case low energy. And of course there are many technical details about in this case how these two technologies work. The ranges are different, the protocols inside are different, but we're going to see, actually we're not going to see all these technical details, but we're going to focus on how to apply them in our project. Okay, so in this presentation I have introduced some very concepts about the Internet of Things. Thank you very much.